For people like me that like to do their own stuff, you know, handiwork and love DIY, this is one DIY project that I wouldn't recommend for a lot of people. This, yes, that's right, that is a rat. It's been going in and out of my attic for probably the last week, and I set up a trap about a year and a half to maybe 2 years ago, and the trap was still set. And, well, let's just say said rat succumbed to its injuries. And as you can see, it stuck its head in there, and that head got gone like the wind.
What's going on, fellow engineers? Thank you for checking out this video. If this is your first time to the channel, please be sure to consider subscribing to the channel. Each week I have videos that talk about how to do technology or how to do DIY projects. So if you have any interest in that, please be sure to subscribe. This video, as you saw in the opener, I'm going to talk about the Trex Rat Trap. I actually have two traps. So the one in this picture that I'm going to show is actually the Trex Rat Trap, and then the one that I actually have here is the Tomcat Rat Snap Trap. They are both similar in nature because they both are plastic and they have these teeth on. So anything that gets caught in there is not going because the teeth, as you see, they interlock kind of like the teeth of an alligator. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So anything that gets in there, like I said, gets caught. So the particular rat that was in the attic, it had been going in and out for about a week or two in the attic. I do know that there are some opening holes and whatnot in the roof line and in some places in the fascia. The previous homeowners, they at one point while they lived here, there were squirrels in the attic, and there's plenty of evidence of squirrels being in the attic. So it's kind of not surprising that a rat has managed to be able to get in the attic as well. And so what I was able to do, I set this trap in the attic, like I said, about a year, 2 years prior to this taking place. And the trap was actually still set and thus caught the rat. I don't remember if I actually put bait in the trap or not. I'm thinking I probably did, and that may have attracted it to it. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised myself that I was able to get this done, you know, in this way. So to talk about this trap a little bit more, like I mentioned, it does have teeth on it. This trap is made out of entire plastic, like the whole construction with the exception of the spring that you may be able to see inside of there. It's entirely plastic. The spring and the retaining pin are the only parts on here that are metal. So in terms of durability, it is pretty high up. You can set it with one hand, and the design of it allows you to set it and you don't end up snapping your fingers trying to set it. You know, most of those wood traps with the metal bar on them, you have to hold the base of it, the wooden part, down, and then you move the metal bar, and then you have to put the trigger over, and it requires both hands. And if you're not careful when you're trying to set it, you'll snap your finger under there. And the smaller traps probably won't hurt if you snap your finger, but the bigger ones that are probably the size of this trap that are with that metal bar will probably hurt your finger. And in some cases, you may actually get injured in the process. But this one, it allows you to, like I say, set one hand. All you gotta do is the back end of it, just push down till it catches, and it's set. Just that simple. So no snapping your fingers or anything of that nature. The trigger in this particular trap is this black piece right here. Ooh, good thing I have my thumb back there. But this piece right here, you press down and it releases and it snaps down. And if you notice, there's a thing in the middle here. That thing in the middle is actually where your bait goes. And so you can put peanut butter. I think they suggested peanut butter or maybe like some fruit, like raisins or something like that nature. but it actually unscrews. You just twist it out, and it comes out of there at the bottom. And then you put whatever you want to in there as far as bait goes. Then you put it back in, twist it in on the bottom right here, and it's ready to go. And so this I recommend this trap, having that it actually stayed and caught a rat. Reasons being, and I recommend it. One, it was set for over a year. Um, most traps, they won't stay set for that long. Sometimes because of the trigger is a little bit too sensitive. So like, you know, a couple of specks of dust land on it and it'll snap on its own. Other traps, you know, they just, through the expansion and traction of the springs, through the heat and so forth, they snap that way. But this one did not. So I was kind of surprised by that, and I'm glad it actually did work. The second reason that I would recommend this particular trap is because of the mechanism of how it keeps rats. The teeth on here will grab, and whatever it grabs is going to hold because of that teeth. Those wooden wraps with the metal bar, there are stories of where the trap snapped and the rat, because the trap was undersized for the animal that was trying to be captured, the rat was actually just able to slide back out. Even though it's hit him, it didn't hit him in the right way where like it didn't hit him across the head. It like hit like behind the head, probably towards the back. And so it was able to take that hit and then just slide its way out by using its legs to push on the wooden piece and slide out. That those teeth on here, you can push on here as hard as you want to, but because those teeth actually kind of bite in, and as you see, the teeth are interlocking, it doesn't let go. This particular rat, when it snapped, now mind you, I was asleep when it all happened, and I kind of was freaked out in the middle of the night. But when it happened, all I heard, I woke up to like just a beating, like and it's like, what in the world is going on? And so what I actually figured out and put two and two together with was that, as you see, this spot here doesn't have a lot of insulation on it. And so I think what happened was the rat found the trap and stuck his head in there. And when it snapped, it tried to do like a barrel roll type deal to get out of the trap. But because the rat, you know, that trap was not going to let it go, it didn't let go, and it just rolled and rolled and rolled. And so the banging noise was the trap knocking on the backside of the drywall that you see in this picture here. So yeah, like I say, you can fight it all you want to, but or the rats can fight it all they want to. Was not able to get out at all. And so, and I guess one of the main things about it is even when it snapped, it didn't instantly kill the rat, based on how I was able to see how it snapped on the head, but it did contain the head, and it really actually snapped the rat on his head. It didn't even grab like the neck. And so, but because it grabbed the head and it wasn't able to go anywhere, and then the hot temperatures that are in a typical attic, you know, basically the rat suffocated from the hot temperatures. If it didn't suffocate from the hot temperatures, it suffocated from this pretty much cutting off, probably breathing, that nature. The third reason I would recommend this particular trap is you actually have to look inside of the trap. So if you see up here, and I don't want to get a pin, I don't want this to accidentally snap, but if you see right in here, better yet, let me get one you can actually see. But if you see right in here, there's a little spike, kind of difficult to see, but there's a spike right here. And so this spike actually lines up with the hole. There you go. This spike lines up with the hole where the bait goes in the trap. And so what happens is, when the trap snaps, if the rat has its head in that place and the trap snaps, the rat gets stabbed in the head. So it's like instant death. when it happened in this particular scenario, looking at the aftermath of it, the head was slightly off of the opening. So I'm thinking he probably was kind of skeptic at first. Maybe managed to stick his head in. I'm not fully sure. But in either scenario, the head was not square, so he didn't die. But you know, some traps do have that. But this trap does have that set up so that stick your head in there, die immediately. Um, but it has to be in the right spot. So that's kind of like the downside to it. Now, to talk about some of the cons of this particular trap, it is a little bit more expensive than the typical basic rat trap that has the metal base. I mean, excuse me, the wooden base with the metal bars on it. Those traps in my area run for about $1 to $1.50 US dollars, that is. And this particular trap runs from about $7 to $8 US dollars. So fairly more expensive, but this trap is reusable. It's designed to be reusable. In part, it is made out of plastic instead of like the cheaper wood and metal ones that you would get. And to be honest with you, I would, since I have caught this rat and I do have two of these style of traps, I'm going to actually go ahead and set these back in the attic again. And who knows, something else may manage to get up there. But I'd rather have the traps up there and they never catch anything than to have critters running around and there's nothing up that can catch them. So I think this is a great investment in my opinion. If you have any questions or comments, or negative points that you bought this trap and didn't like about it, feel free in the comments. Feel free to share those in the comments below. I'm willing to discuss that with you and any other questions that you may have. So that will wrap things up for this video. I ask you to please give this video a thumbs up and also leave a comment. Have any questions, drop those below, and don't forget to subscribe. So until next time, peace out.